Okay, call to order, 6:32 a.m., October 8th. The Council on Aging, October Board Meeting. Good evening, everyone. 6:32 p.m. says, a.m. says 6:32 p.m. Welcome, welcome. We have no public comment that's new, other than one we're going to take up in a minute, because there's no member of the public here. So we'll move on to the discussion of the Pledge of Allegiance request from the member of the public, Mr. Daniel Benjamin. I'm gonna, my parliamentarian Maureen maybe will tell me if this is wrong, but I'm gonna either ask for one of four motions. One is that we discuss it. The second is that we don't discuss it. The third is that we adopt it as a practice, and the fourth is that we don't adopt it as a practice.
Do you think we need to add it to the bylaws? Do any other committees have it in their bylaws? I was just curious. No?
No, no, only
5 out of 22 town commissions and boards have chosen to do it, so there's no requirement.
There's no
No, I
requirement.
just didn't know if we wanted to add it to the bylaws. Like if you adopt it, do you then add it, to the bylaws? I mean, I don't know.
No, you wouldn't want to add it to the bylaws because then we have to go through the whole process of redoing the bylaws.
Oh, well, no.
You would make, if
Could add a
anything,
sentence.
if you wanted to make it a policy, that's just a policy, it
Yeah.
would be easier.
There's five, according to Sherry Dalton, there are five committees that do it. The Youth Council, the Town Council, the School Committee, no, not the School Committee, I'm sorry. The Youth Council, the Town Council, the Commission on Disabilities, the Historical Commission, and the Veterans Advisory Board and the Traffic Advisory Committee. Out of the total 22. And there's no requirement, no recommendation.
Well, I would then make a motion that we discuss it. That would be my motion. My motion is that we discuss the public comment about the Pledge of Allegiance.
I'll second that.
Okay,
Okay, any, all in favor of that?
Roll
No.
call vote.
Yeah, let's do a roll call. All right, Carol, you're in favor of that, I assume?
yes,
Maureen, you're in favor of that?
Yep, this is a discussion that we're in favor of. Yeah.
right.
Right, exactly. It's a discussion, yeah. I'm not in favor of it.
Okay,
I am
Sherry,
not in favor of it.
Rich?
I'm in favor of discussing it, sure.
Okay, so we will discuss it. The motion passes.
well, since I made the motion, I'll start. I think it was great that the gentleman brought it forward. I wasn't here. I think it's important. I'm obviously a supporter of veterans. My husband's a veteran and we have the flag hung at our house. However, when I joined this group, I joined it as a sort of neutral civic body where I did not want to have to give my opinion about my political, religious value set as part of this work. So I know how I would vote when it comes to a vote, but that's my opinion is that I would not vote in favor of it. I think it's fine if other committees do it, but I am in favor of remaining as a neutral group, with the caveat that that does not mean that I don't support it or support the veteran motion.
And I echo Carol's sentiments exactly.
Huh, I don't see how it could do any harm for us to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't think it says
Well-
anything other than that, we are pledging allegiance to the flag. I'm not sure it's political in any way to do so.
Well, but there's some other pieces in it. One nation under God is exclusionary for people who don't believe in God. Whether we think the flag is political or not, it is in this particularly fraught time, I think. So everybody is entitled to their opinion, but if we did vote for it, I would not participate in it, not because I don't support the country, but just because I don't think this is the venue in which I want to have to do that unless it's a regulation of the town. So that's I mean, everybody has their opinion, but it does have some language in it that for people, it can, and I know this, can be exclusionary.
And also, if it were, for the committees that do have it, it's an optional thing.
Mhm.
Some of the language of liberty and justice for all is difficult for me right now to
Mhm.
believe truthfully. It's aspirational, but it's difficult for me to pledge to it as a truth.
Did he ask all the other committees, do you know? Has anybody
I'm
else
assuming
voted
so.
to not do this, or like, I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's a good question, Maureen. I don't think we know. I don't know that.
I don't think it really makes a difference. We're an independent body of other committees.
I'm just asking Sherry if anybody else has had discussions about it. I feel like there could be backlash either way, from other people. We
I-
do represent a lot of veterans as, the Council on Aging, and I don't know. I feel like this could be
uh,
taken the wrong way if we
Right.
vote not to do it. I mean, I don't know. I really didn't think it was a big deal. But we don't do it at the Housing Authority, but he hasn't come to ask us either.
Haven't asked you,
But there
okay.
are some housing authorities that do it actually. So I have seen some meetings where they do it. And some tenants, groups do it too before their meetings.
It's easy to see both sides. It really is. And I've wrestled with it since I read that. I can understand both perspectives, wanting to do it and not wanting to do it, which is what helped me land in the neutral zone. That I guess because I'm trained as a mediator, that's how I think. If there's no really common ground, that it's better to just stay in a neutral zone. My opinion only.
I'm curious, does anyone know, and maybe Karen, you can weigh in on this. Are the veterans board meetings hybrid? Are they in person or on Zoom?
I'm not sure. I think they might be in person, but I know the town council requires everybody to at least be hybrid. So they might be Zoom. I think they had to be Zoom. So I don't know if they've gone hybrid yet, but it was mandated that we all be on Zoom. So I'm guessing
My
like it was
question,
Zoom.
my question is this, like, right, among other considerations, is that right now there's no flag in the room. There's no flag on our Zoom. Um, to pledge to, among other things. I mean, I have stronger feelings in other directions, but there's no flag here. So how would we do that? I know we're trying to move to hybrid. I know we are, and we will, but I'm just curious about that.
I'm gonna look quick to see what they do, but I think it is Zoom. And when I remember speaking to Dave, I believe that they're Zoom.
Yeah, that was my question too, Susan, was how would you have a flag?
Yeah, I don't know how you, I mean, somebody would, I
In a
guess we
Zoom,
could,
I mean, I guess, yeah, someone could have one in the background.
there must be one at COA, but you're not always at the senior center. Karen's not always at the senior, there must be, do you have a flag in the cafeteria, the gymnasium, whatever, that room?
Yeah, I have a flag in my office here. So
In your office,
and
okay.
I'm 99% of the time here. So if you guys decide to, then I can put the flag in the camera.
Is there any further discussion? We're discussing, so the next step would be a motion to do it or not do it, I believe. So is there any further discussion weighing in that people want to do? I just also, I want to echo, and I hope it doesn't sound defensive. I want to echo what Carol said. No, I come from a military family. I believe in America. I believe in our country. I have strong feelings about it, allegiance to come to the country. However, I don't see a straight line between at all. I don't even see a dotted line between this meeting or a meeting like this and the Pledge of Allegiance to kick it off. I don't see how they connect. I mean, I see how they connect, how some people would explain that they connect, but for me, it doesn't connect. This is a civic activity. And that's why I'm here to help my town.
Just to interrupt, they're via Zoom, their meetings.
Say that again, please.
They have their meetings on Zoom.
They
I
have
just
their
checked
meetings on Zoom.
their agenda.
All right, thanks.
Rich, do you have any thoughts? You're thoughtfully quiet there.
No, I understand a lot of what everyone said. My difficulty, and I won't get into it, is with the individual that requested it. There's some past positions that individual has taken that I have a hard time reconciling. And so, however I feel about that, it's hard for me to accept a motion from him given some issues from the past. But I also understand the need to be neutral in some regard. We're here to serve Wakefield specifically.
Thank you, Rich.
Sure.
Okay, well, if there's no further discussion, I would open the floor to another motion or not to consider it as a practice or not consider it as a practice at this time.
I will make a motion that we do not consider it as practice at this time.
I second Sherry's motion.
Okay, Carol, vote?
I vote no, that we would
No.
not support it at this time.
Okay, you're not supporting the motion. Okay, Maureen?
Well,
To
I'm
adopt-
supporting the motion that says
So you
no.
vote yes.
I vote yes,
Yes.
thanks, Maureen.
Okay.
I vote no.
I vote yes. Sherry?
Oh, I vote yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Okay. The motion has failed to pass. It's not something that we can't revisit in the future, but for now, I have a question that I don't know if anyone here can answer or not, and that is, do I have an obligation, which I don't mind, but do I have an obligation to get back to the gentleman? Or is the minutes sufficient, the record of the meeting?
I would say you don't have an obligation, but as a courtesy, you could.
Yeah,
But the
that's
minutes
what I
are
was
the
thinking.
record, and this is a Zoom meeting, so it's,
Yeah,
it's,
Recorded in public, yeah.
yeah, well, I plan to, no matter which way it went, I plan to let him know and thank him for his, concern, blah, blah, blah. Okay, thank you.
Before you move on from this,
Yeah.
Rich, in light of what you said, I don't want to, obviously, we don't want the details behind what you said, but should we anticipate any backlash to our vote, just so we're cautious or prepared for that?
I mean, my issue is unrelated to this issue
Okay.
completely. So if it were, I mean, it would have nothing to do with, that. I mean, I don't, obviously we don't know how other groups and committees are voting, but my issue is completely unrelated to this issue.
Okay, thanks.
Or even if they're voting. I mean, I think he does have past affiliation with the Council on Aging and also the connection between the Council on Aging and the veterans, being in the same building, et cetera, and the close connection. That may be why he came to us. I'm not sure. But as Maureen said, he hasn't come to the housing authority, so
No.
as of yet. Okay, let's move on to the minutes of the September meeting. Sherry, thank you for your continued diligence.
And I thank Karen for hers and making sure that I have all the details accurate.
The only thing I would point out is in item 4A, we could not use the new space, no AC. I think we mean varnish smell, not vanish smell.
Oh, that's a, okay, typo. And there's another typo where I spelled Maureen incorrectly.
Oh, okay.
And I will make those small corrections before submitting these if you approve the minutes.
Thank you. Okay. Any other comments or corrections or questions about the minutes? Someone want to make a motion that we accept the minutes as written with those 2 typos corrected?
I'll move
think-
to accept the minutes as amended with the 2 corrections that were noted.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'll second. Carol?
I have to abstain. I wasn't at that.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Well, we still have a quorum. Maureen?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Minutes are entered into the record. The financial reports came yesterday. Thank you, Karen.
Mhm.
We're still sort of we're still in our first quarter. Anything we should pay attention to in particular, Karen?
No, we're good. I'm watching pretty tightly because I have to order some blinds for the windows upstairs. So I'm just watching my spending very carefully for supplies to make sure I appropriately plan out for the year in case my vehicles have issues during the year. Hopefully the arrival of our van before the end of the year would be ideal. But otherwise, no, we're in good shape.
Okay,
Can I just ask a question? Does the Mystic Valley line get spent all at once? It looks like there wasn't any expenditure in September.
Yeah, that's our annual dues for them.
Oh,
So that's
just annual. Okay,
I
great.
forget the month it comes, but that's the one. That's our annual
Okay.
annual dues to Mystic Valley, or I don't really think it's called dues. Our annual. Rich probably knows the actual word for it, right? Because age span probably is the same thing. It's our buy-in.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called exactly, if there are dues or things like that.
All right, I would make a motion. We accept the August financial report as submitted.
Second.
Maureen second. Maureen,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
me, yes. Carol?
Yes.
Okay, August report is accepted. Let's look at September. It's hard to believe it's October, but it is. Okay, so any questions or comments or issues with the October report? Anybody, the September report, I'm sorry, that anyone wants to raise? Okay, I have a question in a minute. Okay. I think Maureen wants to make a motion. We accept the September report
Oh,
as.
I'll make a
financial.
motion to accept the September financial report.
Thank you. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I don't want to be the
No.
motion.
That's all right.
I will second.
All right,
We
thanks,
want to
Sherry.
keep the minutes easy for Sherry, so we just have to change dates.
Okay, all in favor of accepting the September report as submitted? Me, yes. Carol?
Yes.
Maureen?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, and while we don't vote on it, there is a participation report at the bottom of both of these. So does anyone have questions or comments or?
I made an asterisk you'll see on one. I was thinking about it. We've been primarily reporting our rides as round trips because that's how the majority of them work. But I think most senior centers probably report as eat per ride.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I started changing it, but I just made the asterisk to say, okay, I'm going to start tracking it per ride so that we actually get more credit for what we're doing, because they are individual segments. Sometimes different drivers do them, but I want to make sure we're truly capturing the amount of rides that we're giving.
Yeah, that's important.
So that was a change that you'll notice on the numbers for September. That's when I made that change.
Right, 404 as opposed to 226 the month before. Yeah.
Yeah, we rarely give one-way rides, so that's so I wanted to start showing that. But that was really the only other change. You can see the numbers are staying fairly steady. Sometimes if we have big events, of course, that makes the number go up. We had a really successful legal presentation that Patrick Hurley came in and did, and we had more people than we usually do. So we're pretty excited. Am I good to go into director's report and just talk about it all together?
Yeah, go ahead. And if nobody has any more questions about participation? No? Okay. Yeah, move into the director's
I
report,
have one
please.
quick question. Karen, are
Yeah.
you seeing any kind of uptick with the new space? That seeing more people come in just because it's there so they can hang out?
Well, it seems as though this week is maybe finally going to be cool enough that we consistently can be up there, because Mother Nature has not been hugely cooperative with some of the heat. And we did in the October newsletter advertise that, oh, hey, we have a pool table, we have a lounge. Tuesday, it feels like it's later than Wednesday. Tuesday, we had Senator Lewis was here. We had cards going on. We had Spanish class. So we actually were fully utilizing the second floor because we had Senator Lewis in the lounge area. So that was nice. So we're starting to, and it's just taking some adjustment for people to get used to. A couple of our classes have moved to the third floor. So that's been nice. And we have discovered, so I shared that we got a SIG grant to get some soundproofing for upstairs. I have to work with DPW. Chris Pierce said he knows some people that work in that business to give us some tips to help with some of the soundproofing. We have noticed it's funny when it's a louder exercise class, if they don't shut the doors that go to the third floor, we can hear the music through the whole building. So it's just, we're learning all these things as we go. Yeah, but we have had the Tai Chi classes up there. Alice's classes have been up there. And we have the rec department uses the space on Monday nights for acting classes or theater classes for 2 different sets of students. So that's been nice to have them and welcome them upstairs.
So what happens, well, who mans the building or peoples the building when there's an after hours thing?
So if it's through the rec department, they're trusted people. So the individual instructor does. So that's why Tuesday nights we have fencing and Monday nights we have theater group. If we have after hours things, otherwise that's with us, I stay. But that's something we're looking into now that DKC's here. I can talk to her as well if we want to be able to have the building be utilized at night by other people. But we would require a custodian really at that point. So they'd have to decide, is it something that we'd want to rent the space or would it be internal people that could use it? So I had been waiting until she got here to see what she wants to do. I'll probably wait a couple months till she gets settled and then bring it up. And then in all honesty, that gets me through the end of the year too, to have the time to really dedicate to coming up with the policies. I've reached out to Dan McGrath to talk to him about how he utilize the Albion Cultural Exchange. And I reached out to Catherine at the library to see what policies they have for renting out space for non-library use, because we have gotten calls about it.
I bet.
Our biggest thing during the day, even if we had the space, would be parking. We couldn't let somebody come in and utilize the space if they're going to take up a lot of the parking spots, taking away from the senior parking for other things that we may have going on.
But even weekends, perhaps, that could come up if it hasn't already.
Yeah, we've gotten asked for meetings, bridal showers, all that kind of stuff. So really it would be a meeting with the DPW as well, because contractually we would need more custodial services than we have right now. So it would be how to get the funds to be able to pay back to hire the custodians to come in. So it's not a lot to it, but there's certainly things that we'd have to look into. We did proactively get the doors fixed in the office suite so we already can lock the door next to the elevator, and then we can lock the glass door that comes in, so that if we do have programming going on outside of hours, we can lock off the office suite.
That's good. Yeah. It's beautiful space. It would be wonderful. It could be more utilized by the community in a variety of ways that are safe and effective and appropriate, so.
And we are moving our Shine office. We have a complete setup. IT is going to come over this week and set it up for us. We got a laptop, a port to be able to plug into a monitor and a printer. So we're setting up a Shine office on the second floor. So they can now see people in the afternoons and not have to worry about Beth's schedule as much. So that'll be a nice private spot for people to come in and meet for Shine. We could put Leo up there if we wanted to, although she uses the copier. So some things we'll keep downstairs just because of access to the copier. But there'll be a
Right.
printer upstairs, which is what my Shine counselors told me they need. So that will start to be utilized more frequently. And great news, I can't remember if I heard this for the last meeting, but AARP has found a site coordinator for us. Our site coordinator, Amy, was going to step away this year, and she's been our volunteer for years and years and is absolutely amazing. So if we didn't find a site coordinator, we would not have been able to do taxes again this year, and we do over 100 taxes annually. The AARP volunteers do. So
That's great.
excellent news. Peter told me he found a volunteer for us. I believe it's one of the tax preparers last year stepping up and taking on the site coordinator role. So that was like the gift of the year, because I was really sad that we might lose that service.
That's wonderful.
So they'll be back in January, February timeframe. And I wanted to touch base. We talked briefly about the hybrid meeting versus strictly Zoom. I didn't know if people are interested in going to hybrid, if that was an option, or if people want to stay strictly Zoom. Because I can reach out and ask if we can go to hybrid, but I didn't want to do that if people, I don't know if people want to wait until the spring when it's not dark out at 4 o'clock, or if you wanted to consider hybrid before then. But just something for all of you to think about. If you want to switch to hybrid, I would reach out to Sherry Dalton to see if we can switch to that format. I have to practice. We call it the Jumbotron, but we have that giant screen on wheels that is Zoom capable. And that was part of the setup so that we could do hybrid meetings. I just don't think I don't know how many of the other boards are doing that. So it's just something for all of you to think about.
At the senior center, Karen, or at town hall?
At the senior center. I'd have to see the Wi-Fi to see if we could go up in the classroom. Otherwise, we could have it really wherever the Jumbotron rules. I come for the meeting, so I don't mind if people want to do hybrid because I'm here anyways. But if people prefer to stay on Zoom, then that works as well. And if it's something you want to think about, we don't need an answer right away.
The main reason for me of meeting in person is this is a public meeting and we cannot have private interactions with each other when we're on Zoom. But if we were hybrid and some of us were in person, it would be easier for us to get to know each other and develop more personal relationships if we so desire.
Right.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Could
There
it
are
be,
other groups that do hybrid meetings. Other boards. and
Could you
committees.
repeat that, Rich? I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
There are other boards or committees that have hybrid meetings. I don't know the full list of them, but I've been a public participant in another meeting where it was hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Housing Trust Committee was meeting hybrid when Steve was doing it. So, but we've only been doing Zoom the last few meetings. So I don't know what's going to happen with the new town administrator, and there's a new planner. So
And if we do go to hybrid, can we, for weather, just call it and say Zoom only tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think
I
if
live less
if
than a
you-
mile away. I walk, but it's not a big deal to me.
we probably would just stick with continuing that hybrid because it would be advertised that way for members of the public. And then I would be here, so that's
You
fine. And
would
if I
be
was
there, yeah.
by myself, it's not a big deal.
Okay. So you might be the only one in the room on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, which is fine. If nobody came, I probably would just use my laptop instead.
Okay.
But I think that would be fine. If it was a blizzard and the town was closing for some reason, then the meeting we
Be
can make it
canceled anyway, yeah.
would just be remote. But otherwise, I don't see too many reasons why I wouldn't be here.
I do I like the idea of hybrid. I also like the idea of having an option, depending on what is happening. And I'm thinking of Julie too. She's got a toddler or a preschooler at home, so that might be, I don't know. I don't want to speak for her, but for some people, some nights would be difficult probably for any of us, just in terms of the time. So I like having Zoom, but I also, what Sherry said before, that would be really nice to have that option.
You could come hear the building creaking with me at night because there's a lot of creaking going on. The elevator turns on and off. It's fun.
Really?
You're
The elevator
haunted?
turns on and off? That's fun.
Well, it makes noises sometimes that really make me go, oh, am I alone? But anyways, it's
You're
fun.
locked in, I assume, right? You're all locked in when you're there by yourself?
I am,
That-
yeah.
Okay, good.
Just the critters within. So that was my thought on that. But then a few other things going on. I had a great day at Town Day. We had quite a few people stop at our table, so that was nice. Did some good outreach, sharing with things that are going on with people. And then we were invited to the fire department open house to hand out the file of life cards. So I was there this past Saturday, and that was also nice. We gave out a few file of lives. It's always nice to be out and chatting with people, and more people talked to us this year as well at that. So that was, I think it was time well spent, and I was happy the fire department invited us to go back. And our next outreach will be our Halloween party. We were originally going to do it as kind of like a trunk or treat idea that different town departments could come and meet people. So we're still doing that. We're calling it like a mini resource fair / Halloween party. Dee Casey is going to come so the seniors can have a chance to meet her. And we do have quite a few departments coming. So it should be a nice opportunity for seniors to do that. So because we're doing it as a mini resource fair, we've decided to make it free instead of charging $5 so that we can encourage more people to come. So we are doing a big media push for that right now. And that segues nicely into the town has a new website, which I think we've talked about before, but there's the new, it's Civic Plus, and it has the opportunity for us to have people sign up for things online. It's not for everything yet. So Jen McDonald is amazing. She works for it. She'll send out an email for us saying, oh, here, click here to sign up. And then we get an email notification that somebody signed up. So it's really, I think that's one of the reasons we got more people for Patrick Curley's talk. We got a lot of people for a walk in their shoes because it's reaching more people than we've typically reached, I think, with just our newsletter. And they can click, sign up, and they can still call. We keep it equitable. So they can either call the center, stop in the center, or they can access online. It still requires us to take the name from the email and transfer it to an Excel sheet because we're doing it multiple ways to sign up. But I think it's been a great way to reach more people. The goal would be someday to have it populate, or to have more things offered that way, but it's a good start. So we've been very happy with that. We are going to do that kind of a sign up for the Halloween party. And we have Harvey Leonard is coming in November that we're pretty excited about. So we're going to do that for Harvey Leonard as well, because we'd really love to pack the house when he's here.
He retired, totally retired? I don't even know.
Yeah.
He is, okay.
I
Spoke
have a
at
question.
H Dan's event last year.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
I have a question. If you sign up online, which I did for Attorney Curley's meeting, but you don't check in at the front desk, is that included in the numbers for the month?
No, you have to check in. So the sign up's just a sign up, just like any other registration. But when you come, you're still supposed to sign in for anything. One, so that we actually have a clear picture of who's here. If there was ever, God forbid, an emergency, we technically could pull the list of who
Okay.
signed in so we know who's in the building. But yeah, that doesn't count in our numbers if you don't sign in.
Well, it
We
wasn't
try
the
and catch it sometimes if we see somebody that we realize hasn't signed in and give ourselves credit for it. But I pull the numbers I report to age come from my senior center, which is from sign-ins.
But isn't like at the Curly presentation as well as the dementia one, Catherine seemed to be taking names, even if you hadn't checked in at the front desk. Is that what's better to do?
We prefer people still check in at the front desk, but we
Right,
take
right,
names
right.
because people don't sign in at the front desk. When I do my age numbers, honestly, I add some numbers too because we know that everybody's not signing in. And we'll put that in
Okay.
our report saying we're estimating this because we know that for certain events, people don't sign in, especially
Okay.
the way our building is configured. A lot of senior centers have the luxury of one entrance, so you have to
Yeah,
come in to go to
yeah.
whatever you're going in. So because
Yeah.
we have 2 floors, and I explained that in my report too, saying we have 2 different entries. So if somebody comes in the ground floor, they may not think to stop in and sign in, especially if
Right.
it's held down on the ground floor. So it's not a big deal. That's why we try and capture people and check them in if we can.
Or if you rush in late because the person you're bringing with you is always late, you don't get a chance to sign in.
Would that be your husband, Jerry?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
don't put that in the minutes.
So yeah, so we're used to that. It's not a big deal. I try and look at that when I'm reporting my numbers, and I do put that we do miss people signing in because of our buildings set up without having, the option to just sign in at the front door when you walk in.
Well, I'll be better about that in the future then.
And so the Halloween party, if anybody wants to come, is on the 29th from 1 to 3. That's when we're gonna have the table set up, and I think, Sherry, did you volunteer to come and be on our
Yes,
table?
I'll
I
be
thought
there
so.
the whole time in costume.
All right, I have some candy that you
Oh,
can
you
give
have to
out.
wear a costume. I was gonna say I'd come, but the costume part, I'm not sure.
Costumes are optional.
Oh, optional, okay.
Optional. Yes, I probably have a couple of people here who are not going to wear costumes, so I think there'll be a good mix. I anticipate. I'm just hoping we have a good crowd because I hate to have our first event that we've invited our new town administrator to come and have it be a flop because we have so many things that are not. I'm like, oh, please, people come.
She gonna wear a costume? Did you tell her she had to wear a costume?
Oh, I don't know if she's wearing a costume. I told her it was optional. In the invite, it says it's optional, so
Yeah, of course, it's
we shall
optional.
see what she decides she wants to do. And those are the big things. We had our volunteer appreciation luncheon today, so that went well. We were happy with the turnout, and we were happy with the day. It's a nice day to be able to honor all of you and to honor our other volunteers. And one of our volunteers surprised us with bringing a gigantic cake, beautiful, beautiful cake that he made, our chef JD. So that was a nice way to supplement our desserts. And otherwise, it's
Karen,
really.
you made a delicious peach cobbler. My husband wants the recipe.
Oh, thank you.
Told him he'll email you.
Thanks.
That was a
No.
great event. I was there today. It was really
Yeah.
fun talking with everyone.
Yeah, we were so happy. So we're running around, but to watch everybody talking is our happiest part of the day because sometimes you have things and people aren't really intermingling, and it was so nice to see everybody mingling and talking with each other. And that's what our goal is. We're trying to desperately to figure out how to have more things like that, or just let people in the community know. It's just a place you can come and talk with your friends. You don't even have to want to have anything to do with us. If you have a few friends, you want to come and have a cup of coffee and go hang out someplace in the senior center, we have the space now, so you don't have to be participating. So we're trying to figure out how to advertise. Hey, you don't have to be participating in anything that we have just to come. You can just come and hang out. We have free coffee. Come, put on the TV, do whatever, play chess. So we're working on advertising that so that people know if this is your space, seniors of Wakefield, you don't have to be coming to an exercise class or coming to a presentation. But we have a lot of stuff coming up. We're pretty excited. So you'll see those in the newsletters as they come out. But that's the next big one is definitely Halloween and then Harvey Leonard. Our holiday party, I believe I gave you the save the date already, is on December 17th. And we're going to continue to do some joint programming with Stoneham, Melrose, and Medford. We're going to be doing an LGBTQ plus kind of event. We did a tea last year in Melrose. We're doing another dance that will be in the late afternoon, evening over in Stoneham. We are doing another trip to the Pops in December. And then we most likely will do a prom again in the spring with them. So we like to try and continue to do a few times a year the mixers with the other senior centers. No update on the van. I shared that. So, but that's not unexpected. They told me that it was probably going to be a year before we would get the van in. Otherwise, we have a new driver who's starting tomorrow. Some of you met him today. Patrick, goes by Pat, I've just learned, but he is going to be starting as our newest driver on Thursdays. And we have 2 firefighters who are sharing our Tuesday rides. So we have a great core of drivers.
Oh, that's great.
I
I just want to give you a little extra credit, Karen, because not only, I wasn't able to be at the lunch today, but Karen, our fearless leader, made a special trip to Maine to get the entree, right? To get the special entree for all the volunteers, which I think is, was way beyond the pit. It's over and above. Thank you.
Oh, it's a family favorite place with the homemade pasta. So we wanted to do something special. So I thought, I could pop up and get it. Visit my sister. It was all good. But I think that's it. So if anybody has any ideas or any feedback you want to give me, I am 100% open to it. Just you can tell me now. You can tell me in an email, call me, whatever works for you.
I had not an idea. I had a comment, and it may be this isn't the right place, but you were asking, does Karen lock herself in at night when she's there? And I just wanted to pose the general question to you about you and all of the team, if people feel safe, or because I'm of the firm belief that you can't do your best work unless you're always feeling safe. And I know sometimes there are unanticipated events, and I just wanted to throw that out. I was thinking about the panic alarms that you put under your desk that we've used in other places. But so that's my question. Do you think people feel safe?
I do. We've talked about it with staff before. We actually had Chief Scory come over to look at the place one day to see like what things you could do. And his biggest concern was, in all honesty, Dave.
Was the
If
what? I'm
anybody-
sorry.
was Dave, our VSO, if anybody was
Right.
ever, say, angry at the VA or something and came in to visit Dave. But we have cameras everywhere. We feel I check in with the staff to make sure they feel safe, but there's always two of us here. Rarely is there only one person. So we do feel
Okay.
safe that we're all right here together. So that helps as well. So I believe so, and they know, but it's a good reminder. I should make sure they know if there's ever anything they're concerned about, they should let me know so that we can do what we can to try and make it as secure as possible. But we have 2 points of egress. When I think about my military training, right, I think, all right, we have our 2 points of egress. You hide under your desk if you need to. We all have cell phones and phones on the desk. We can call 911. The police have a super fast response time. So I feel comfortable with what we're doing here.
Good.
We joke around about our plans, like where we're all going to run to if we have to go. And you can run along the back of the building all the way down to the other end. So we have some good plans in place that we joke around about. But thank you. I think that's a good question, but I will check in with Catherine, Marianne, and Beth to make sure they're still feeling safe in the environment. And I do check in with the drivers too if we ever have unruly passengers. If we were to have an unruly passenger, we really haven't had to experience that. But if they do, they fill me in, and then usually it's something we can debrief with the passenger. Sometimes it's just a bad day, or people have disagreements on the bus that sometimes get heated, that we follow up with both riders with a phone call if anything like that ever happens.
Okay, thank you, Karen. Any
Yeah,
questions?
I had a question. I was just wondering where, I know we're fortunately past the summer, I guess, but where things are with the air conditioning and where that's at.
So that's a great question too. So I'm waiting to hear more. I brought that back up with DPW to see where we are, and they were reaching back out to see, is the funding officially approved? I haven't gotten an answer yet, but they know our priority. And we did list our priority. If we can only afford the 75,000, I'm not convinced it's going to do 2 floors. So I did make my priority the 2nd floor, because I think that space, there'd be a bigger impact in having that not there. And then if we needed to, we could move a couple of portables up to the 3rd floor. We have a portable unit in the VSO office now for air conditioning over the summer, because that's where our computer hub was for all of the lines. We had to have that. Well, we wanted to keep Dave cool, first of all, but we could have moved him, but the computer ports are all in that office as well. So we do have a portable unit that stays in there. So hopefully I'll have more information for you at the next meeting. I do not, unfortunately, have any solid update right now, other than they know I keep pushing about it.
Things take forever, don't they? Gosh.
Well, yeah, I think it's just with all where the money is coming from within the budget.
Yeah, I know, but
It's
still.
available. But it's definitely still earmarked. If the town gets the money, it's still a priority to be able to do that. And it's definitely well known within DPW and their leadership that it's a priority that we need to have to be able to continue to use the space upstairs.
Any other questions or concerns?
I just have one other question, since you mentioned it, Karen, is obviously, I'm sure you're not angling to try and have outside parties and events and things like that there. But I don't know if it would ever get to the point where the town would want to consider it, and I don't know what the approach would be on that. I mean, obviously, there's other spaces that the town uses, like the civic center and things like that, but I don't know if you get the sense, if you would start to get a lot of requests, like what direction the town would go or how they would handle that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's why I was going to check in with Dee to see what her thoughts are after she's had a bit more time here, because I know, for example, the Civic Center has nighttime and weekend custodians. So it would really, I think they'd have to determine if we're using the space enough that it's worth it to have those openings. I need to meet with Dan to find out for Albion what he does, but that's a much smaller space to manage. So I think that's an easier one to close, and then the custodian can get it the next day. But because we actively have programming daily, it would need to be cleaned really the night before, first thing in the morning, to be able to come in with our active programming. I'm trying to I encouraged Dan too. I said, if there's any more rec programming that you want to add, we can use this space for that. So I'd love to have it used more. And maybe that's a good way to have it used more. If he needs some additional space.
Okay.
But we would definitely need more custodial support in order to do that, or some type of support to make sure the building is locked up and taken care of.
Some security if it's nighttime, yeah.
And we want to be mindful too of not interfering with our ability to continue to do evening programs. Not that we do them all that often, but we do some evening programs that typically are on Wednesday or Thursday nights because of the schedule with fencing and theater. So we want to make sure we always have that capability. Somebody did ask me at Town Day about our hours, and she was interested in weekend exercise classes, but it's the same thing. It would really have to be what's the cost of having the center be open on a Saturday to offer a couple of classes, because you need to have a staff member that could be here. You'd have to have custodial services. So you'd have to.
And there'd be liability issues, and an alcohol policy would also be important to have. I mean,
Oh yeah, I don't think we're ready to go down
yeah,
I think
that's
that
what
would require town council approval
yeah, it
for.
would. Yeah, I think it
great
would too,
alcohol
but
license.
yeah. That could start to come up though if the space starts to get publicly available somehow.
Yeah, maybe no bridal and baby showers, because
Yeah,
they'll have to get themselves a permit for the day to drink in the building.
yeah.
You know, what may become an issue is if other groups like AA or NA or some of the those self-help groups ask to use the space. So it's always important to anticipate that, have some experience with public space that people want to use, and then you get into, well, this group can use it, but we really don't want this group in there. And so who decides about it is going to be important to think about in advance, because I would bet that's going to come up at some point.
Yeah, I've had a nice chat with Catherine about that from the library too, of
Yeah.
making sure your policies are very clear. So this is more,
Mhm.
I think if we're doing it, I think it will more be spring timeframe
Yeah.
that we would
Spring,
potentially
yeah,
consider
to
what
give
we would
time.
look into.
Yeah.
Or to see if the town would rather see us trying. I mean, we'd have to have more staffing to ever have increased hours. But if that was something eventually they wanted to do. We've tried, we just don't get a ton of people after hours. Not the 4 to 6 window is just, you don't get a lot of people unless it's something very specific that people are really needing, like the countdown to Medicare, for example.
Right.
And on the weekend, I don't think we would get a lot unless it was for an exercise class, but that's a tough one because there are plenty of gym options around that you have to weigh really if it's, and even to find instructors too on the weekend could be challenging with the normal.
I lived in Stoneham, which wasn't that long ago. I went to a Saturday, frequently went to a Saturday yoga class at the Stoneham Senior Center, and it was very well attended.
Was it through rec or through the
No,
Stoneham Senior
no, it
Center?
was some the senior center did, but it was the group leader that was responsible for everything.
Mm.
But that was a different time, it was before the pandemic. So actually, now that I say that, when people used to go out more.
But that's something we could consider, like if it was something more like that, like a rec program that you have
Yeah,
the
exactly.
instructor is in charge of the class that they take. So that's something that could potentially be looked into.
It is a beautiful yoga space. I mean, it's such beautiful space. I was up there the other day and it just always breathtaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited to have the floors used more.
Mm-hmm.
We just gotta lure everybody in. So
I'm,
cashier.
I'm in the Tai Chi classes, and it's such an improvement over the first floor.
Mm-hmm.
The teacher gets up on the stage. Everyone can really see everything that he does. Much better sight lines, and because it's so popular, there's a lot more space for us.
Nice.
I do think we'd look wonderful though. We could make some great progress down here if we could paint our walls from this this color here. So we do all joke around about that maybe if we could paint the walls, it'd seem a little more modern here. The color, this makes me think of intestines from my anatomy book. So I have a hard time sitting in my intestine look, but we do talk about maybe someday we could at least refresh our paint on the first floor.
You know what might be fun someday is to have like a youth group do a mural or something. I'm just putting that out there somewhere. Not to wreck any space, but that would bring in involvement too, or another community group. have some space, and they could even be like portable murals, like not on the walls, but big art pieces, murals.
Oh, I'm glad you said that, Susan. We do have a portable coming this way. We did the intergenerational programming last year
Okay.
now with
Yeah.
the tree that everybody did the different leaves and they
Mhm.
put it
Right,
together,
right.
and it's traveling around town. So it is coming to here
Oh, good,
at some
good.
point.
Okay.
Maybe we could
Thank
do a
you.
mural that we can, portable mural that we could hang up.
Yeah. So you don't commit to the walls. Have the walls, don't have to commit.
And we do still have some resistance. People do like the programming being in the dining room. We do still have some resistance about going up to the second and third floor. So we just stay positive and do our best. But a lot of people do still prefer, if we're having something, to have it right in the dining room because it's just easy. You can go right in, everything's right there, and you can go right out.
Okay, are we ready to move on? Anything else that you want to say to us, Karen, or how we can help, or anybody want to ask?
No, thank you. Hopefully we'll have more answers for you at the next meeting about the funding for the AC. And yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, affordable housing, any updates from last month, Maureen?
No, we have not. We have a meeting next week.
Okay, all right, good, thank you. Okay, matters not anticipated, I just have one little announcement. Go ahead, but anybody have anything?
No.
Just Denise Casey, I guess as part of her getting oriented and acclimated and digging into the town, she has requested to meet with each and every committee chair to start. So on Monday, or 2 Mondays from now, I have a Zoom meeting with her. So I don't know what it's going to be about exactly, but if you have anything that you want to put on a list, if I have the chance to bring it up, I'm happy to entertain that.
I went to her the whatever you call it, open
The
house on Monday.
reception. Yeah.
Reception, yeah.
Yeah.
And she was very nice. I already told her that we're the best and Karen's the best, so you just gotta toe that line.
Good for you, Rich. That's good.
Thanks, Rich.
And I invited her to come see the senior center if she hadn't already, so.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. So she was in charge of the senior center, or the community services team. The senior center fell under that in North Andover. So I think it's a nice thing for us to have somebody starting who's so familiar with senior center operations already, and so supportive of seniors. Steve was always incredibly supportive of the seniors, so it's nice to know somebody coming in that is equally supportive. I have my meeting with her, my sit down tomorrow.
Is she able to join us on the 29th for the Halloween party?
Yes, she has a table there. So that's why we're really hoping to get a good turnout so that she can see our seniors coming out in full force. So spread the word.
Tell her to bring good candy. We'll advertise her full-size candy bars or something. I'm only kidding. Being silly.
We did notice a couple of people forward on Facebook. So we are hoping that we don't have an onslaught of people with children coming thinking it's for everybody, because it really is designed for 60 and over. But somebody shared it on like a kid's post on Facebook that somebody else told me I hadn't seen it. So in all of our new advertising, we're making sure it says 60 and over.
It's good.
We're not going to kick them out if somebody comes with their kids, but we're trying to send the advertising that is primarily designed for the seniors.
Okay, well, if there's no additional business, would someone care to make a motion that we adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:26 p.m.
Maureen, okay.
And I second Maureen's motion to adjourn.
Carol has seconded. Maureen, in favor?
Yes.
Carol, in favor?
Yes.
I'm in favor. Sherry?
I am.
Rich?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, everyone's in favor. All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
you,
See you
Susan.
soon.
Thank you,
Great.
Karen,
Good
for
night.
always.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, have a good